Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Finck, really sharp guy in front of his window, but covered with books. I don't know what's going on over there, but let's bring him on. Let's give him a big hand, Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul.
Hi guys, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and we're going to be talking about how to pivot in this crazy time. And when Ken comes back, we'll talk a little bit about my personal life as well. I got to tell you that this is one of the crazy times that I've lived in, and for many of you, you're in the same space. However, this is also the greatest opportunities.
Going on with your sound. It's weird. I don't know if you need to put in your headphones, but it sounds like you're talking in a goldfish bowl.
Oh, it does? All right.
Now it's good. It's good now.
It's good now.
Good now.
All right. So are we good now? We all right? Something happened?
You're golden now.
All right. Good. Good. So, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and I've been an entrepreneur now for over 3 decades. It's almost 35 years now that I've been living in this space. I've been working from my home. I've been creating my own value for over 3 decades. And with that comes a lot of experience and a lot of understanding the cycles of up and down and how to really create and pivot when the mayhem is happening. And so in this day and age, I'm here to share some key components on what it means to move through just times of change. My tagline is do it different. Be a maverick. Do things very different than you've ever done before to create a magnitude of results. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for over 3 decades. That means I've earned my keep for over 3 decades. I've never worked for anybody a day in my life and created this abundance in my world. And well, it wasn't always like that. I created some good results, only it wasn't life-changing. It didn't create an abundance around me, nor did it create an abundance for my family. I did okay. We did just enough to get by, maybe a little vacation, maybe eating out every so often, but it really didn't create this abundance for many, many years. And so I graduated from college, went into sales, went into straight commission sales, then started some distribution companies. I was in the medical field, dental field, and I did all these great things, only didn't quite reach, and you'll all get this, my fullest potential. Didn't quite reach up to what was possible for me and what I know is possible for all of you. And so how do you make that happen even in crazy times? Step up and create a whole magnitude of who you can be. Love, and we've had some great people this morning, Tom and Tim and some of my peeps. And I got to tell you, the message is clear. Now it's time to really understand who you are and who you want to be and what you can do today to make all that happen. Who you are, who you want to be, and what you can do today to make all that happen. I'm a strategic coach is what I do, and it's one of my mainstays. It's one of my passions. Started off as a psychology major way back in college, and I was trained to be a clinical psychologist, and now I feel like I've come full circle in helping entrepreneurs, small business owners, whether you're just getting started or looking to catapult your career, looking to catapult your business to another level. I help businesses really step up and create what they could in doubling or tripling their results and doing that in half or a quarter of the time that they ever expected. And here's some of the things that we begin the process with, and it's a 5-step process. Number 1, and this is really key. Number 1 is you've got to believe fully. You've got to really believe that future that you're looking for, whatever your vision is of your fullest potential, you've actually got to believe that you can do it, that you can accomplish that. Or more precisely, you've got to believe in the journey. So many people want to, just stay within their parameter. There's this thing called SMART goals that's out there that really bothers me on a core level. And many of you know what I'm talking about. So SMART goals, how to create your goals. And it starts off, one of the key components is, well, they've got to be realistic. And for most of my peeps out there, most of my clients, they know that that word just sends chills up my spine. Because I got to tell you, the life I now have is not realistic based on the person I used to be. The life I now have is filled with abundance, filled with being able to travel at whim, not now, being able to do certain things that the money that we've brought in and the lifestyle that I live, the way I structured and systematized my world enables me to do that I never even dreamed of back 10, 20 years ago. And so I want you to get that everything that you could be is beyond, way beyond your imagination right now. And that's really important for you to get, is that believe that what's beyond, believe that what is beyond your wildest expectations is possible, just possible. And that's where we begin. So a belief in your future, a belief that whatever's going on now is temporary, that your fullest potential is so much further than you ever imagined, and that there's something out there for you to really tap into, that you're going to be ongoing. So the belief, and there's certain techniques and strategies in creating that belief, strengthening it up. Love some of what's been talked about already. Eliminate the outside world to a certain extent, the news and the media and the time wasters, the negative energy that comes to you through some of those mediums. Eliminate those from your life so that you can stay strong in your positive intent. And so some of the techniques in building up with affirmations every day, waking up in the morning and going to bed at night with strong programs that we put into our being, that we put into our world. And so I teach my clients how to do that, structure and systematize those processes. What to say in the morning, what to say at night, how to move forward in creating those words that program us every single day to create more. Second thing is, then you have commitment. Commitment. And this is something that is not a popular word these days. Your commitment to what you do. You know, it used to be, marriage till death do us part. That's commitment. Imagine if that was true. There would be a lot less divorces and possibly a lot less marriages that we knew the day we got into it weren't quality. I fortunately have been with my wife. We started dating over 34 years ago, which is just amazing to me. And my beautiful wife, she's just my soulmate and my inspiration and the wind beneath my sails. We'll talk more about her in just a moment. However, understand commitment. So once you believe in a future, you've got to commit. You've got to commit fully. All of us write down goals, or at least you should write down your goals. Write down what you want, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to experience. Write it all down. The piece that I want you to add to that equation is absolutely, when you write it down, put next to it the due date. So exactly when you're going to accomplish it, exactly to the day. And the third step is, what is your commitment level? From 1 to 10, is your commitment level to accomplish that goal, to do whatever it takes to create it? Is it a 10 or is it a 9, an 8, a 7? Maybe it's a 6 or a 5. What is the commitment level to make it happen for you? What commitment level do you have towards that goal? See, here's what I'll tell you. When you're writing your goals and your commitment level to make it happen is a 5, a 6, or even an 8 or a 9, Give it up. Dump it. Just throw it away. Don't even bother thinking about it anymore. Why? Because anything, when it's an 8 or even a 9, there's still things that are going to throw you off course. Things that are going to come into your world, things that are going to happen to you that are going to say, oh, well, I couldn't possibly go after that goal now because, well, this happened. Of course, I don't have those options anymore. I got to tell you, in this day and age, with all the craziness that's going on in our world, your commitment level to your dreams, your goals, who you are, your fullest potential is more important than ever. I got my goals. Man, everything shifted in my world over the last couple months, and I'll talk about that in a moment. In shifting, I had to double down on my commitment to create everything I committed to creating, regardless of the external forces that were changing things for me. See, it doesn't matter when you're on a flight path and you decide you're going to go from, let's say, New York to LA. So 3,000 miles across the country, you're going to go on that journey. You say, I'm going to land in LA. Great. You go up in the air, and then there's 1,000 different adjustments in your flight path. You still need to be committed to landing in the spot that you committed to. Still land in LA. It's not a matter of whether you're going to get there or not. It's just a matter of how. That's what's going on now. How to pivot in these times is stay with your commitments and commit at a level 10 no matter what. Plan. The next step is absolutely plan. Actually have a roadmap. And here's where people go haywire is that they decide they want to create the plan before they create the commitment. So let me see if it's possible, going back to the term realistic, let me see if it's possible to create this, then I'll commit to it. Wrong. Absolutely ineffective. And I teach effective principles. Commit first, you will get there. Commit first, you'll figure out how. Commit first, the rest follows. Start with your commitment, then plan how to get there. Start with the goal, then figure out how you're going to accomplish it. Don't worry about how while you're deciding what you want. Really key. So once we decide what we have belief, we decide what we want, we commit to it at a 10, then we build a roadmap to get there. These are all steps that I work with my clients on step by step, really locking arms with them. And we'll talk about that in a moment, what it means to build that community. So you're going to commit, you're going to lay out the game plan. Well, now you're going to track it. For all of you, there are numbers in every business. I'm a businessman through and through. I've been in straight commission sales is where I started. I'm from New York, if you could not tell, and I cut my teeth doing cold calling in Midtown Manhattan. So really hardcore in that sales, numbers mean something. In every business, there is a certain component of it that's a numbers game. Do you know your numbers? What are you tracking? What you're tracking gets done. So the more numbers that you track, the more components in your business that you're paying attention to. What numbers are you tracking? Is it monthly and maybe daily, weekly, and monthly projections of your results? What are your sales intake? What's your income intake? Number of clients that you move? Or is it something else? Are you tracking all your social media numbers? Are you tracking all your conversion numbers? These are all components of what you could be doing. And the more you track, the better off you're going to be within reason. Within reason. Building a team, and we'll talk about that, building a team is real important to be able to track more and more so that they're actually just reporting to you and you're not having to do all the deep dive to collect all the numbers. Really helps you live a great life. Something else that's been talked about all during the last 24 hours. So absolutely, we want to track. We then want to adjust. As we keep moving forward, The thing that is really interesting right now, we all ended up in this space, or a whole lot of us around the world ended up in a space where we're in lockdown, where we are isolated, where we are ordered to be at home. Well, when we're ordered to be at home, well, now what? Now so many people put their head under the covers and was crying themselves to sleep because, oh, their world changed. Others are just playing on the internet and hanging out, watching movies all day long. I got to tell you, this is a time to double down. Massive, massive action with everything that you're doing. Don't rest. Don't drive. Like Ken was saying, he has arrested in 2 days. That's great. Because this is our opportunity. The ones that are doubling down on their efforts, actually creating more than they ever did before, are the ones that are going to come out of this, the leaders and the winners in our world. And the other ones are going to be like, oh, wait, what just happened? Be that person to create more, do more, accomplish more now than you ever have. Here's the great opportunity. What I have seen is that, and I'm tracking my time just a little bit, what I've seen is that the playing field has leveled and that anyone can come out of this a huge leader. Be that person. Do it different. Be a maverick. Create the magnitude in your world. Create the magnitude in your life. Got a couple things that I want to make sure I've got plenty of time to share with you. That is really key. I am here for you. I'm here for Ken and this whole community and what's been going on here. I've got so many friends that are a part of this, so many friends that have participated in this, and it's been so great to watch. I also want to share that, well, my life has like taken a real shift. Back about 2 months ago, and I may get a little emotional, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And it was simultaneously to everything happening with the COVID-19. And, for me, the key was taking care of my wife and being by her side. And I didn't even notice what was going on with COVID-19. We've gone through a process. She's had a heart surgery. The cancer was in her pulmonary artery. A massive sarcoma was taken out of her pulmonary artery, and she's stage 3. And so she's going through chemo now. She's just coming home from the hospital today, be it from her first 5 days of chemo, and she's got another 15 or 20 days more to go. So over the next 4 months. I got to tell you, it puts everything in perspective. You really get clear with what to do and where you're focused and how to accomplish. And so I've had everything going on with my wife. I've had everything going on with the COVID-19. I'm a speaker and trainer. I had my schedule booked to be traveling all around the world for months. Usually we schedule 6 months to a year in advance. All of that has changed. Everything's been canceled and shifted to online. Having to do all those changes and all that focus with my life and still be here, I'd stand up for all of you as a testament that it doesn't matter what's going on in your outside world. It doesn't matter what's going on in your world. You too can stand up and be positive, stand up and create, stand up and actually be the leader, be the warrior, and create more in your life than you ever thought possible. Don't let the excuses put you down. Don't let the excuses of our world that other people would accept. Oh man, your wife, and oh, and by the way, I also have 6 children. I've got 3 sets of twins. And so they also, now they're all older. And I say older, that we've got 4 in college right now. Well, those 4 in college just moved back home. So we've got 4 college students taking classes in my house right now. We've got my wife coming home from chemotherapy, and all this change happening in the world and within my business simultaneously. And we are still conquering. We're still creating, and we're still creating a magnitude of results for everybody there. I want you to know it's possible for each and every one of you to stand up and be heard, to stand up and be a leader, to stand up and inspire others to be positive even when others are losing their brain around them and losing their mind. Be the person that they can look to and say, yes, we can. We can accomplish more. I want to offer up, and thank you for the prayers. I'm seeing the messages coming through. I appreciate that. And we, my wife and I tease, we're the 1% club in everything that we do. We're 1% in 3 sets of twins. We're 1% in the abundance that we have in our life. We're 1% in beating the odds for our relationship and our marriage. Man, 1% club. And this too is just one more piece of our story that we're going to succeed at. And be that 1% club. You want to come and hang out with me. You want to come and learn the techniques and strategies that I teach my clients on how to double and triple their results, how to do it in half the time, and how to create themselves to be the ultimate of who they are. I've been doing this now. I've been coaching about 15 years now. I can't even believe it. I've been an entrepreneur for 35 years. Got a little bit of experience in sales, negotiations, marketing, understanding how to put. I've done over $30 million in informational products and over 250 boot camps. Have some information for the people that want to be speakers, coaches, trainers as well, to teach you some of the steps on how to step up and create. Most of the time, people are paying me somewhere in excess of $40,000 to $100,000, depending on different programs I do for a year of coaching. And so understand the magnitude of where I usually play. And so I've got some great gifts for you to participate and play in my world. Right here, maverickmomentum.com/OPT2020. Go there and you're going to be able to access a great offer. Usually this offer goes for thousands. Oftentimes I'll discount it down to $997 for a lot of the speaking gigs that I go to. Matter of fact, even this weekend, I'll be speaking in other places virtually, and this program is going to be for $997. Today, and for you, this is going to be going for $97. $97. All you got to do is go to maverickmomentum.com/OPT2020 and then put in access code OPT2020 or promo code when you go and place your order, and it'll go from $997 all the way down to $97. And this is just for this community. This is huge. And what this will give you is tens of hours of training. I've got about 20 hours of training that we're giving you right off the bat, and key training on the universal laws on how to influence, persuade, the key components on how to really build up your own internal belief systems, and then how to execute. Step-by-step process on really how to go from what you want to the day-to-day actions that it'll take to get it. And I walk you through that methodology. You see, all it is, systems, processes. Right now, we're all struggling with productivity. We want to be more productive. We want to create more. We want to do all this virtually. How do you make all that happen? There's step-by-step processes, systems to move you forward. I'm giving you all the methodologies that I utilize with my clients right up front. So this is all within a couple different systems we're going to be totally give you access to and download. You're also going to get time with me, and this is really key. I'm going to give you a one-on-one consult with me where we actually are going to sit down and strategize. And my team always teases me. I start off with a 20-minute call for everybody, and it always goes longer. So be prepared for an hour because I love you guys and I want to give you the time. Absolutely step-by-step processes on how to move forward, and then a strategic plan with me on what you're going to do over the next 30, 60, 90 days to create everything that you want. In addition to that, and I know I'm forgetting something, I want to make sure, I've got a live event. And yes, when we get back to live events, you're going to see what I do. 3 full days of only me on stage, my live events, Maverick Success Live. you're going to love it, and you're going to get 2 tickets to that as well. So when we come out of this somewhere later on in the year, you're going to have access to come to my event, and that's just going to bring you to a whole nother level, because we're going to take those lessons and really go deep with them. I usually only have about 50 people in the room. That's what I like. I do a lot of events, and so usually about 50 people in a room, and we go a deep dive in how to plan for your future and create the life of your dreams right there live with me. So you're going to get 2 tickets. You're going to get all these hours of training. You're going to get the consult with me. And not even on the website, I'm going to give you one other special thing. I've got a exclusive app, and I'm going to give you access to my app that has another 30 hours of training in the app of different components on skill sets, on time management, on understanding on how to move forward in your life, really get clear with your goals and your dreams, how to plan day by day, habit formation. All these things are in the app that I share with my mastermind group. Absolutely, I'm going to give you access to that app as well, and you're going to have another 30 hours of training in there. And we have live group calls with my upper level students. Live group calls, I'm going to give you 3 months of that as well, where you're going to be hanging out with me in a group setting. However, my group calls aren't like most people. It's not, oh, I'm just lecturing like in this format. No, it's a ton of give and take. It's like you and I are talking with other people listening in. That's how I conduct my group calls. So you're going to come there and ask me live questions every single month on what's going on with you and how we can plan. So all this is just amazing. It's all on the website except for that last part where I'm giving you access to my app and another 30 hours and monthly calls. So as soon as you sign up, we're going to give you one other thing. And I know I've been talking and I have no idea. I think I'm just about finished up here. I want to give you one other website that is just a gift, because some people, man, are struggling right now, and I get it. And there's things that I have that I just want to be able to give to you. So if you go to getyourmaverick.time.com, just another website of some great tools on time management, because we're all here in this struggling time right now, all here in this time where we need to figure out systems, processes, and prioritizing where we're at. And so if you go to that, getyourmaverickTime.com, you'll get some great additional tools that'll really help you out. So for $97, you're getting live access to me. $97, you're getting live access to strategic planning. And when all said and done, somewhere around 40 to 50, I think it's 50 hours of additional trainings that lay out step by step how to really move yourself from where you are to where you want to be. And I'm not, everything I teach is things that I've applied. And so I teach it from, there's theories out there. There's tons of ideas out there. How do you actually take those ideas and put it into your world? How do you take those ideas and create a dynamite of an existence? I started off this world that I have now that I'm living in when I had 6 kids under 6 years old, and I was the sole income producer for my family. I've been through the ups and downs of our economy. I'm in the real estate game, went through 2006, 2008 as well, and the downturns there, lost millions in that downturn, and came back in spades, came back with just a rocket ship to create even more. I want you to know that it's possible for you. It's possible with everything that you're doing, with your skill sets, to step it up and to create more. That's what I'm here for. That's what I train on. That's what I help people with. And so thank you so much for this time. I love all of you. We're all in this together. Let's make the most of it.
Brother Paul, you are a rock star. Thank you, man. You knocked it out of the park. Thanks so much.
I stand for love. Do you? Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, live from Elizabeth Bay in Australia, Johnson Chong, the amazing
Hey.
Johnson Chong.
Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for the intro. Don't blame me. It's all Ken's doing. All I did was help illuminate something within him that was wanting to come out.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Now, did you
Yeah.
see the video?
I did.
Yeah, wasn't that great? You
Yeah.
look good. You sounded great, man.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I just came from a 3-hour inward journeying workshop where I was taking a bunch of people on an inward journey, like what you were describing. And what better time than now, while we're all quarantined, to go inwards and to look at some of the stuff we have hiding in our basements.
I'm almost afraid to even go there, but but I have been into the basement, and it's an interesting place to be. Johnson has a way of getting right to the bottom line. It's very intuitive, and we did a session at your house, an intuitive session at your house, and within about 4 seconds, I was like, "Oh my God!" Right deep into all of it. So with all the things that are going on in the world that you see, and you see, you because of the way you work, you really kind of get right into the heart of things in so many different ways. So what do you see as the big opportunity right now, and where you think things are going?
Well, I work primarily with the energetics, right? I've been listening to some of the speakers, beautiful speakers and guests, and a lot of people are talking about business from a very practical, three-dimensional, tangible, how do I make money on my returns? And for me, the way that I've worked in the realm of consciousness is really about the energy, the intention behind things. And so in quantum science and neuroscience, all of this recent research has really just shown us how the ancients were right all along. It's that we create the reality around us. So, if we're carrying a lot of fear or panic around how am I going to make money? Where am I going to get my leads? How am I going to, build my business? How am I going to continue my business? How am I going to start a business? And you're bogged down by the fears. A lot of that comes from energetic cords that are connected to a way of thinking, an old way of being, a subconscious pattern, an unconscious pattern. And if we don't dive into it and cut the cord, rewrite the story, then it doesn't matter how many strategies you have, because ultimately there's a virus inside here that is not allowing the entire system to function. And so I look at everything from a holistic point of view. I myself come from an energy background. I work with shamanic energy medicine. When the world was open, I was leading people around the world on transformational inward experiences using meditation techniques from the shamanic traditions, from the Buddhist traditions, from science, from neuroscience, and also have a yogic background. And I really just work on allowing all these different aspects of the self to come together so that we can shine more authentically, more truthfully. And so what I'm more interested in now with COVID-19 is, are we choosing as a collective, if you are a business owner or a conscious leader? I mainly work with people who are conscious leaders, meaning that you're awake to the fact that there are other things at play besides just, the wall and the floor. Are we choosing to operate and looking at the world that we're in a state of emergency, or are we in a state of emergence? And that's what I'm interested in. What path are you choosing to take? And whatever choice that you make, and if you're absolutely certain that, then you can't fail, even if it feels like you're stumbling. And then all the panic, all the worry, all the fear, all that just dissolves. And that's really where I'm at. And that's what I've been helping a lot of my clients with. It's a lot of the inner stuff, looking at our demons and, doing some spring cleaning and yeah.
What is there a difference now in where their minds are with this going on versus where we were 5 months ago?
For sure. Yeah. So I lived in Singapore for 6 years, right? And Singapore is a little bit of a bubble. I'm from New York originally, and now I currently live in Sydney, Australia. And I've been here the last half a year now, just in time for the bushfires and then now Corona. And 6 months ago, a year ago, yeah, the collective mentality was really about go, go, go. Here's my bucket list. This is what I want to do. And this is where I want to go. These are the things I want to achieve. This is who I want to be. It's this very modern way of living that we've taken for granted, which is I'm gonna strive and push and grasp. And if you look at the wisdom traditions, right, we know that's not sustainable. If you look at nature, that's not sustainable. Like even winter comes and the trees wither and the leaves die. So we have to look at this as an incubation chamber, a time to hibernate, like bears. Bears rest and restore during winter. And it doesn't mean you become, not productive and you curl up in a ball and become depressed. It means you write, you create content, you create new programs. And so how I've been staying creative is looking to see how I can be of service to my clients in different ways. I love live experiences. I love, meeting people, shaking people's hands, hugging people. And a lot of the work that I do requires live physical touch. But then transferring that into the virtual space has also been the silver lining here. And instead of going down the rabbit hole of like, oh God, what am I going to do? Right. It's like now there's these online programs because I've looked at, who I serve and what do they need? Everyone's feeling fearful. Everyone's feeling uncertain. So how do we help people empower themselves even in the face of chaos? And that's what I'm about right now.
Yeah, it's the big question. And now you find we haven't talked a lot lately because I've been kind of in hibernation getting this done together.
You have been.
Yeah, I know. Are you busier now?
Am I busier now? I am busy in a different way. I'm busy, but yet I'm also very I'm very alert and I'm also very energized to be of service in this new way. I've been meeting a lot of different people around the world who I probably, if I had my normal schedule, I wouldn't have had time to go out and even meet them. But because we're all cooped up at home in this virtual space, I've been connecting with so many different conscious leaders. And like I just ran a collaborative partnered workshop with someone in San Diego, for 3 hours ago with a bunch of queer men. And it was a queer consciousness group, right? I wouldn't have thought to go and look for a market in California. I'm based in Sydney, right? So, I mean, the world's becoming a little bit more global as we feel like we're becoming more isolated, but we're really not. We're just having to connect in a different way, in a more subtle quantum way, right? Through the internet.
Yeah. So, I mean, you and I have both been kind of portable, although you had a yoga studio and so on. So you had physical stuff. Now that you're doing more virtual, how's that feel?
Virtual feels great. There's pros and cons to having a physical space. So I ran a holistic center. I had a center in Singapore, and we dabbled in lots of holistic healing modalities, and we ran transformational workshops and experiences. We had coaching programs, and we also went on retreats, especially around the Southeast Asia region. And that was glorious, right? Because Singapore is this beautiful hub, and you get to interact with people live. And as soon as I moved to a new country, I'm like, I don't even know this country. I've been on the computer since I've been here. So like literally, I know my neighborhood, so I'm finding ways of creating without exhausting myself, because when you're on the go and when you have to commute to different places and go to meetings, and I used to do a lot of corporate work as well and go in to deliver wellness experiences in the corporate workplace, that can be taxing on the physical system. So the upside to all of this is that we have the energy to create because we're not having to commute. So create wisely. What are you choosing to create? How are you choosing to spend your time? Right. And so I find that it's both. I'm enjoying it actually. And some people are like, oh, you're enjoying it. I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the quiet of being at home in my meditation chamber. And I'm also enjoying writing and creating and being of service in completely new ways.
That's important. And the element of quiet, I think, is miraculous. And actually, I mean, I'm staying right now in an apartment right in the middle of the city, where it's so noisy, and I'm on a lower floor where the noise is just really heavy duty. And now with everything shut down, it's been so nicely quiet. It's been just glorious, and just, it's like, don't reopen. It's so nice and quiet. But of course that's going to shift. but having that adaptability, I think, is so important. Are you finding that the people you're working with right now are more open to adaptability, or are they being really kind of resistant to it?
Well, across the board, what I am seeing with clients, old and new, is that there is, okay, let me preface this with that we operate out of 4 fundamental systems, right? The way that we experience reality and the way that we live in the world. We experience things physically, right? So that means kinesthetic sensations through touch, through smell, through all of our senses, right? Then we also experience things cognitively through our intellect, through analysis, through logic, through reasoning. Right? So a lot of business requires a lot of this framework and structure. It's thinking, right? And then you have emotional, right? So when you connect to people, how do they feel? How do you intuit stepping into someone else's shoes? Are you able to let your walls down and become a little bit more vulnerable so that you understand what the other person, your customer, is going through, right? And then the 4th is energy. Energy is, you can think of that as purpose and as intention, right? And some of you who do have a daily meditation practice, or you might be dabbling into some of the alternative healing spaces, you might be sensitive to things that are not as visible, like electrical forces at play, where we have 70 trillion cells of electricity just bursting through us. And so we're so capable of tapping into the more subtle ways of existing. And that's where you got your inspiration, was actually going into this place of deep stillness, deep quiet, which a lot of people are afraid to do, because as soon as you shut down and become quiet, if you haven't dealt with a lot of your demons, quote unquote, and they come at you and you're afraid, you know what to do, right? Shame, blame, guilt, issues with mother, with father, right? All of these things that every single human being faces, you're not going to want to stop and stay still. But once you've dealt with those things and you're empty, you're clear, you're clean, then you can create. You have to empty the cup before you can fill it. And so out of those 4 systems that we operate and experience reality, we have to tap into all 4 of those systems in order to create in alignment and in truth. So if you have a business, let's say, and you're just creating content because you're fearful about next month and how you're going to pay the rent, that energetically is going to come back to you, and that's what you're going to get. So a lot of what's missing in people and how they're showing up in what they're doing is that they don't have the energetic piece. That is the basis of everything. You have to be very anchored in service. How are you being of service? Not how am I serving myself, right? All of that will come in. And I know, like, when we're in the face of crisis, it may seem like that's not the most logical way to go. It isn't logical, but it is an axiomatic truth of how nature functions. You have to work energetically before the more gross, meaning the more dense parts of reality come into manifestation, which is, money coming onto your table, right? New clients, database increasing your sales, all of that stuff, right? It's all about what is your intention and how are you projecting that out into reality.
Now, how can the average person reach those levels? Certainly we can go ahead and the average person will probably enjoy getting more clarity and going through some of those four areas. What's the best approach that you would recommend to the average person to be able to go to down that road?
Well, first we need permission. We need permission to say it's not okay, right? And it is okay, right? And that permission comes from guidance. We're tribal creatures, right? We were evolved to be in community, so we need someone to witness us. And there's actually a lot of meditation research around the power of witness, with the witness conscious, of being seen, being heard, being felt. And that's essentially what we're doing with business. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be met, we want to be felt. And then in exchange, the energetic exchange is cash. Here you go. I appreciate you. I value you. Here's some cash, right? It's an energy exchange. That's what business is, right? And if we look at it with the fundamental principles of consciousness, if your business is functioning consciously, that should be happening very smoothly, right? Even in the face of Corona, right? If it's not, then it means there's aspects of yourself, because we are our business, right? There's aspects of the self that are not fully honest because you haven't looked at it or you refuse to look at it, right? And a lot of that really comes down to what I see across the board is self-worth, right? Am I valuable enough? Do people even want me? And am I, right? All of these internal questions, it's this battle that's going on inside. And those parts of self need to be addressed. So the first step is permission to look. Yeah. And we often don't feel like we have permission to look because we're hardwired to go, 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 right? And if you want to go, 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 that's great. That's fantastic. Like there's the time and place to go, go, go. But first, the blessing of the crone is to stop and take stock, reevaluate before you go, go, go.
Yeah. So the permission piece is important. No question about that. I'm just thinking, what steps we need to teach people to do or encourage them to do or encourage them to take so that they can be on that path. Because I think we still have a lot of people that are ignorant and not intentionally, but just don't know.
Well, we're all ignorant to our ignorance. So
yeah, there you go. It just takes us to help bring them out, right? Because we're the enlightened ones. And I'm saying that somewhat, of course, but
yeah, we're all enlightened, right? There's nothing to get, there's nothing to attain, yet there is something to get and there's something to attain, right? And again, permission is the first step. The second thing to do is really to develop your awareness. And how you do that is by asking the questions, the right questions. What kind of questions are you asking? And then connecting that question to a feeling and emotionalizing that out. Because everything we do in life is a projection of our inner reality, of all of our psyche, of the world that we want to create. Your mission statement is a reflection of that. The way that if you have a brick and mortar shop, the way that you put things and align things and the way the entrance and all of that, right? The decor of it, that's very reflective of who you are as an energy, as a person, as your consciousness. If you have an online space, same thing. The colors you choose, all of that is a reflection of you. So your awareness needs to be developed so that you are aware that you're making the choices that you're making. And if you're not, if you're just kind of running blindly, I mean, that's a choice. If you're running, but you have strategy, that's also a choice. Everything is about a choice point. We all have choices to make, right? And how I approach, because I'm in the service space and I mainly work in the spiritual realms, which is a little bit different from a lot of the other businesses, which are a little bit more in the tangible spaces, but I operate in the same way. I have a database. I still have, I have to network. I have to partner with people. I solve a different issue. And my issue really is about fulfillment. I come across a lot of people who have a lot and then they don't feel fulfilled. And so what is that? And then let's get to the bottom of that. And a lot of the work is around coaching too. And so if you only have coaches for, let's say, marketing and strategy, which is fantastic. I've spent, $150,000 on business coaches because I can talk consciousness and concepts all day, right? Because that's where I need more structure in. So I know that that's where I go. But I can give you mission statements up the wazoo, like for, I can just keep going on and on about purpose and redefining all of that. And I'm really happy in that space. And that's really where my gift is. And I really help people to illuminate that which is hidden. It's like a hidden path. It's like, oh, what's that? Well, let's look at that. And we don't do that just from the mind. We do it from the body. We do it from the heart. We do it from the energy, right? So I hope that answers the question.
You do good stuff. Well, I just look at people, and we have so many people that are in that state of discontent, and they're stuck. And I think that's the best word to say. They're just stuck. And I think I may have told you about my friend here that works at a restaurant on furlough and won't listen. And just doesn't want to hear about potential solutions, whether it's pride or what, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a friend that's suggesting it. I haven't got a clue, but he's going to pull money out of his superannuation and live off of his retirement, which is what that's called here in Australia. And that's not the answer. Using those funds and being in reactive mode, to me, is not the answer. So if we can give people a means for them to feel comfortable and confident to open up and get through those limitations, I mean, we see results so quickly. So, it really comes down to perturbation, as Shirley would say.
Yeah. Being comfortable in being perturbed, right? Or allowing yourself to sit in the muck, because we're in a big puddle of muck, right?
Yeah.
Around the world. You look at how economies are falling apart. You look at how the government's handling situations in different countries across the board. Everything's falling apart. The old paradigm is falling apart, right? And yet the people who are grounded are the people who are meditating, the people who are connected to their spirituality, to their awareness. And the people who are freaking out and making rash decisions that are not serving them, they're making decisions out of fear. Those are the people who are losing their shit. Pardon my French, but that's what's happening around the world. And so there are only really two choices at play here, right? You go the high road, or you can go, the brash route. And one is going to be more painful, and one is going to be, a little bit more graceful and effortless. And there's learnings to be had in both. Now, the case with your friend, we're all entitled to make our own mistakes. And there's a certain point in time in our development and evolution as a person when we decide how many more mistakes, like the same mistakes, do I want to keep making, right? And the only thing you can really tell people is, like, you have two choices. You have to have the willingness to make the choice. I can't help you make that choice. I don't work with people who are not willing to go into the storm, right? If you think about it, with a storm, what sense is it in fighting a storm? The storm's happening whether you like it or not. So we can either, take what the storm is giving us and change that around and move forward, or we can just kind of wallow and hide in a little, under a rock somewhere and not come out until everything's done. That's also a choice. There's no right and wrong here, really. But I'm assuming that most people that are watching this are people that want to make the most out of it, right? And so if you are one of those people, then you need to be working in community, right? You need to be partnering with people. You need to be looking for people who highlight, like I think a lot of people have been saying this, highlighting the different aspects of you that may not be as, quote unquote, strong, for the lack of a better word.
Yeah. You put together, I think, two things. I think you put together something for our VIP package, and I know you've got something that you're offering that will make some transformation going. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, sure. So there is one.
Do you know what they are?
I do remember what they are. So the first thing is a guided meditative.
I didn't know what I was.
Say that again.
No, I was saying I wasn't being sarcastic. I was like, we started this process with some of the VIP stuff a long time ago. So I don't remember what yesterday is, let alone.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Don't worry, I got you, Ken. I'm all over it. I have for the VIPs, there's a hour meditative journey where we kind of have a little sample of how meditation can, and I'm not talking about like the boring meditation that you're afraid of. Most people, if they've never done meditation, they're afraid of like sitting still and like shut your thoughts off. Like that's not what this is. It's an inward experience that really touch into all of your thoughts, all of your creativity, all of your senses, and we go on a little journey. It's like following a little story and going and seeing what comes out of that. And so, and that is really about connecting to your creativity and seeing what might blossom from that, kind of like how you did. And then this whole event came from that. And then the second piece is that I offer an 8-week spiritual evolution program called Connecting to Your Inner Wisdom. And then there's 20% off of that 8-week coaching course, and that's done in a group. And we do these 2 calls a week, and then there's audios and videos to watch as well. And then there's some really cool, fun, really simple assignments. Nothing, it's not like handing an essay. It's all around the evolution and development of your self-awareness. How do you become more creative? How do you be more grounded in a space of peace instead of fear? How do you move, breathe, act, think from this place? And then that really is, it's about refinement. I'm all about refinement. How do we refine ourselves as a more efficient human being? And so that's what the spiritual evolution program is about. And those are the two things on the table.
Yay. Well, I can tell you that I recommend this guy. Just the way that I've seen you operate to get as close to the inside. And of course, nothing happens unless the student is ready to learn. But the facilitation and the introspection is really fascinating. So I want to acknowledge the amazing Johnson Chong, which is what your name is now. So just how it's going to be. So
thank you. Thank you for the new title. The amazing Ken Krell.
I'm always soliciting that. I'm just, but you are the amazing Johnson. It just fits you, I think. So I do want to acknowledge you. Thank you for what you've created. Thank you for the inspiration of my lack of sleep. I appreciate that. My mother appreciates it too.
Thank you for creating this platform and this opportunity to be of service in the way that is your gift. In the way of bringing people together.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It's been fun. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your evening, whatever it is that you will be doing tonight. And do we have a birthday party tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
That's next week.
Next week.
You'll sleep for a week. You'll wake up, and then there will be a birthday. Okay.
Right. It's fine. It's good. Rip Van Ken is what it's going to be. Yes.
Sure. Birthday party tomorrow. It's Forbes Riley. Remember?
Right. That's right.
So
happy birthday, Forbes.
Yes. So we can't let you forget that because Forbes will be then mad at me, and we don't want that.
We need to do something special for that. I'm going to need to take a little nap to get ready for that sucker because already I'm feeling like, oh my God. But I got
Healy on.
I tried to put my Healy on before, and it didn't charge because I plugged it into the USB socket in my power thing, but I forgot to turn the socket on. So it's now ready to go.
All right.
And I guess let's tell everybody what to just since you're mentioning it, because it's the coolest thing ever. So I tell you what the sucker is right now because I'll be probably wearing it. Hang on, let me get it out. There it is. This little thing is called a Healy, and what it does, Johnson is probably better at explaining it than me, is if the body operates on vibration, and we're dealing with quantum physics, this little baby vibrates or creates those vibrational frequencies to match the parts of your body and ultimately heal them or enhance them. So there are frequencies that will provide energy. So I'm gonna put on the exhaustion one in just a couple seconds. Thanks for reminding me. And there's ones for eyes. There's ones for learning. There's ones for skin. There's one that is just basically a protection frequency, which I've been doing every day to just protect me from corona, whatever that does. I don't know, but I know I'm not sick, which is, I guess, is working. So it's really fascinating, and I'm not sure it's available. Is it available in the U.S. yet? Are they shipping it in the U.S.?
It will be open in the U.S. May 1st, actually.
Okay, cool. So they're only a month back on that. They plan to open it up April 2nd, but then things changed. But it's really cool, and it connects to you through where are they? Here we go. Through these little puppies. So just kind of like as if you were having an EKG, there's just these little booms, and I'll be wearing those in a minute because I've got, that's the word, electrodes. Fascinating. So anyway, if you guys want to hear more about that, we can get you some details on it. But it's really a cool thing, and I use this every day. Which kind of
you should run the energy program.
I am now. That was my plan. Like I said, that was my plan before, and it wasn't charged, so it was like not too cool. And it wasn't going to start like, what is this? That's how he's wearing, but you outed me, so there we go. All right. Did you have something?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to be had. You were great. Thank
you. Amazing Johnson. I didn't quite catch that, or maybe I missed it. How do they find you?
That's right.
So you can find me at johnsonchong.com. So that's my website, and I'm also on Facebook and the social media platforms, Instagram, all of that stuff. So yeah, there's more details about any of the coaching programs on my website at johnsonchong.com. And yeah, you can find me there. If you have any questions, since we are in Facebook, feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to answer and to share. And it's just on Facebook as well. It's also Johnston Chong. Yeah.
Yay. Thank you, sir. You are awesome. We appreciate you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. Have a great
Later.
day.